Have you ever wondered about the woman who dared to challenge the prophets of the Almighty God? In the annals of biblical history, few figures spark as much controversy and debate as Queen Jezebel. The very mention of her name conjures images of a woman defiant, powerful, and unapologetically herself, even in the face of divine wrath. A queen who ruled not through the love of her subjects, but through the sheer force of her will. A woman who, in a time when her gender was seen as a limitation, ascended to become one of the most potent and unforgettable characters in the narrative of the Bible. Her life, her actions, her very existence, all shrouded in an enigma that has fascinated scholars and theologians for centuries. Who was Queen Jezebel? What drove her to challenge the divine? And what can her story teach us today? Come with me as we journey through the life of this infamous queen. Jezebel, a name that rings with notoriety, but where did her story begin? Born into affluence and power, Jezebel was a Phoenician princess, the daughter of Ethbal, king of Tyre and Sidon. Her homeland was a hub of maritime trade and renowned for its advanced civilization. The Phoenicians worshipped a pantheon of gods, with Baal and Astarte at its helm. It was in this vibrant world that Jezebel was raised, nurtured on the principles of her native faith. Then came a turning point. A political alliance was forged through matrimony, and Jezebel found herself betrothed to King Ahab of Israel. This was no small transition. She was leaving behind her homeland, her people, and her gods to become the queen of a foreign land. The culture of Israel was a stark contrast to her Phoenician upbringing. The Israelites were monotheists, worshipping Yahweh alone. They followed the Mosaic law, a set of rules and guidelines that were unfamiliar and perhaps bewildering to Jezebel, but she was not one to be easily daunted. A queen's influence can be far-reaching, but for Jezebel, her influence was a matter of divinity. Jezebel, a Phoenician princess by birth, carried with her more than just the wealth and power of her lineage. She brought to Israel the worship of her homeland's deity, Baal. This Phoenician god was associated with the elements of storm and fertility, and his worship was well entrenched in Jezebel's native Sidon. When she became queen of Israel, Jezebel had no intention of setting aside her lifelong faith in favor of Israel's monotheistic worship of Yahweh. Jezebel's religious reformation was not a quiet personal affair. She sought to spread Baal worship throughout her new kingdom, erecting altars and temples in his honor. She even went as far as importing priests and prophets of Baal from her homeland to lead these new religious centers. The queen's passion for her faith was so fierce, so unyielding, it became a cornerstone of her rule. But this religious shift did not go unchallenged. The prophets of Yahweh, who had long held sway in Israel, viewed Jezebel's reforms with deep suspicion and outright hostility. They saw her promotion of Baal worship as a direct affront to their God, a betrayal of the faith that had defined their nation for generations. The tension between Jezebel and the Yahwist prophets only escalated as she continued to promote Baal worship. She was resolute, undeterred by the growing opposition. To her, this was not just a matter of personal faith, but a divine duty she was meant to fulfill as queen. This conflict was not just about two competing faiths. It was about power, identity, and the very soul of a nation. Jezebel's religious reform was a profound shift that shook the foundations of Israelite society. Her zealous devotion to Baal would set the stage for a clash of faiths. But that's a tale for another scene. For now, let us pause and reflect on the courage, conviction, and controversy that defined Jezebel's religious reformation. In a world of kings and queens, sometimes faith can be the most powerful weapon. Now let's delve into one of the most dramatic episodes of Queen Jezebel's life, her clash with the prophet Elijah. In the heart of ancient Israel, a spiritual battle was brewing. Jezebel, a zealous worshipper of the Canaanite god Baal, was pitted against Elijah, a staunch defender of the Israelite god, Yahweh. The stage for this battle was none other than Mount Carmel, a place that would forever be etched in biblical history. The challenge was simple, yet profound. Both parties would call upon their respective gods to ignite a sacrificial offering. The god who responded with fire would be recognized as the true deity. Jezebel's prophets of Baal went first, praying fervently but to no avail. No divine flame consumed their offering. Then came Elijah's turn. He soaked his offering in water, making the task seemingly impossible. Yet when he called upon Yahweh, fire fell from the sky, consuming the drenched sacrifice. This miraculous event proved Yahweh's supremacy, leading to the execution of Baal's prophets. Jezebel, however, was not one to back down. Infuriated by the defeat and the death of her prophets, she vowed to take Elijah's life, marking the beginning of a relentless pursuit. But what makes this clash so significant? This wasn't just a battle between two individuals, but a clash between two faiths and two ways of life. Jezebel, with her power and influence, challenged the religious foundation of Israel, pushing the boundaries of what was traditionally acceptable. In the face of adversity, Elijah stood firm, representing a faith that refused to be silenced. His triumph at Mount Carmel wasn't just a personal victory, it was a victory for the Israelite faith. Her defiance of God's prophet marked a turning point in her life, a point of no return. From this point forward, Jezebel's fate was sealed, setting the stage for her eventual downfall. As we continue to unpack her story, we'll see how her actions reverberate through the annals of biblical history. Every story has an end, and for Jezebel it was one of dramatic downfall. The queen who once held power over Israel, who influenced its religious landscape and defied the prophets, met a chilling end. A prophecy was spoken against her by the prophet Elijah, foretelling a gruesome demise. It predicted that dogs would devour Jezebel in the territory of Jezreel, a prophecy that came to pass years later. It was Jehu, the one who seized the throne of Israel, who orchestrated her death. Jezebel was thrown from a window by her own servants at Jehu's command. Her body was left in the street to be consumed by stray dogs, fulfilling Elijah's prophecy to the letter. But even in death, Jezebel's story doesn't end. Her legacy, as controversial as it may be, continues to resonate. She left behind a name that has become synonymous with wickedness and defiance. The name Jezebel is often used to denote a manipulative, controlling, or morally corrupt woman. This legacy, while negative, is a testament to the impact she had during her lifetime. Yet it's important to recognize that Jezebel was a product of her time and culture. She was a woman of great conviction, unwavering in her religious beliefs and steadfast in her political maneuvers. For some, she was a villain, but for others, she was a queen doing what she believed was necessary for her people and her gods. Her story serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked power and the dangers of religious intolerance. It's a sobering tale of ambition, faith, and a tragic end. Yet it's also a story of a woman who stood her ground in a time and place where women were rarely given such power. And so, Jezebel's name lives on. Her story, filled with intrigue, power, and religious fervor, continues to captivate audiences. Whether viewed as a villain or a misunderstood queen, her tale is undeniably compelling. In death, Jezebel became a symbol, a name synonymous with wickedness and defiance. Her legacy, it seems, is as enduring as the woman herself. Jezebel, a queen who dared to challenge the status quo, but at what cost? As we delve into the final thoughts on Queen Jezebel, we reflect on a life of audacity and defiance. A woman who, in the face of tradition, dared to bring about religious reformation, challenging the established order. A queen who, through her marriage to Ahab, found herself at the heart of a clash with prophet Elijah, a clash that would shape her legacy. Her actions, bold and unyielding, had consequences. The downfall that followed her clash with Elijah underscores the perilous nature of challenging deeply held beliefs. Yet, even in downfall, her legacy persists, a testament to her indomitable spirit and conviction. Whether you view her as a villain or a woman of conviction, Jezebel's story is a testament to the power of faith, for better or worse. Please remember to subscribe and leave your thoughts about this historical figure in the comments below.